Welcome to the weekly live stream. It is Lane and Phil as always, and we are here to talk about a pretty big weekend that Phil especially has coming up. And yeah, we'd really like to dive into the Lone Star Open. The FLG is going to be running down in Dallas, I believe. Phil.
It is, yes.
Heck yeah. So we're going to start by going over Phil's list, and then we're going to just kind of peruse around some of the other notable players that at least we are familiar with and kind of check out what they're bringing. And yeah, just talk some 40K.
Yeah, it's going to be a big tournament. I think the total number of players is, I think we were pretty close to almost 400, if I remember correctly.
It
Yeah,
was like
so it's at
320.
330 right now.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yep. 10 tickets remaining, 330 players, a nice even number. Nobody's going to drop. No one's going to have buys. We're going to have a perfectly even number all weekend. Um, Yeah, so a 330 player GT, golden ticket on the line, and yeah, we're all vying for those great games of 40K and trying to go after good records. So I'll just say right off the bat, like I would like to do well this weekend. It's one of the goals. I like you know I like going to competitive tournaments with lots of players and giving myself a chance. So in evaluating that, the question I asked is, what can beat orcs? Genuinely, because if you're going to a tournament like this and you're not prepared to play orcs and you want to do well, that can be very, very tough because right now, orcs at the moment are incredibly solid. They have a lot of tools, they have the new detachment, and my thought is I want to bring something that can compete with them and that I'm comfortable with enough to play at the top levels. So we went back to the bread and butter, kind of, a little bit. We're going with Deathwatch, mainly because I genuinely believe that Deathwatch have some tools that the other Space Marine chapters don't necessarily have. Now, that is not to say that Space Marines aren't good. You could run Librarius. Like I toyed around with Librarius with Bastion and Deathwatch and run like max Deathwatch squads. It wasn't necessarily my playstyle. I didn't necessarily love it, but it is interesting. I could have run just Blades, priority assets. I think that's incredibly solid. Because it does have some of the tools that you need to beat orcs. But I like Deathwatch, and I think this list, which is very interesting, kind of can do that. It has enough. It has enough shots and shooting and efficiency, and one main strat, which is anti-infantry 2-up, that I think is very, very good. So yeah, we're running Space Marines with the title of All Guns No Breaks. You can take a look at that video. It's the Matrix video of all the robots before or when they're in the big dome and all the robots are fighting off all the Matrix robots that are coming in. And it's like super cool scene. So yeah, all we got is guns. We don't really have anything else. I got a lieutenant in Phobos armor, which is the first time I've ever taken this character, and the reason I took him is because I had 45 points and I didn't really need anything else. So he found a way in there. He's very nice because he gives a flat 6 reactive after a unit shoots. So for the Incursor squad, which I now only have one of, he makes them a lot more survivable for what I need throughout the game. So I like it a lot. I've toyed around with this. I would have much preferred, I think, a captain in Phobos, but I didn't have the points for him because the redeploy would be nice. I would love to have infiltrators in here. I don't have those in here either, but I have other ways around it. So, yeah, Lieutenant in Phobos with Incursors, a big Indomitor kill team, which is very, very good. A captain with Jump Pack and Talon Strike. So this is the first time since beginning of like 10th edition that I ran a Talon Strike. And there's a reason for this. I'll get towards the end. And there's a reason I'm running a captain as well, because I played around with a chaplain as well. And I don't, chaplain isn't as beneficial. So captain with Jump Pack, he's got the Beacon and Jealous, which gives them a free rapid ingress each battle round. So CP is really important in Deathwatch. And because I don't have the double strat anymore of Watchmaster plus captain to get 2 free strats a turn. This is kind of a way around it, and it's also gives me a little bit of redundancy. If I were to ever lose one of the captains, I still get the free up down, which is important with how aggressive I play them. Yep, and then so we got a Talon Strike. This is the Assault Bolters version, and then I also have another one with just Plasma. Then we got a Captain Gravis who's attached to that Talon Strike unit, Lieutenant with Combi, Indomitor Kill Team, and another. Oh yeah, it combines both those. Weird. So we only have 2 Indomitor Kill Teams, 2 Land Speeders, Hammer Strike, Thunder Strike, and then a solo Talon Strike Kill Team.
Yeah, this is a little bit different for sure. As mentioned, these Talon Strike kill teams are not the Fortis teams you had brought previously, and you have also added an additional Storm Speeder to the list.
Correct. So the nice part about the Thunder Strike is the +1 to wound against monsters and vehicles. Now, that doesn't mean that I expect to face like there will be knights there. My list didn't necessarily struggle with knights entirely, but it's really nice to have when it talks about like CP efficiency. And to be fair, this army as a whole is CP efficient. The reason is land speeders with Oath, they kind of do it on their own. They're great trading pieces that can push them pretty far out and deny a lot of screens. And with their reactive move after they shoot, there's some armies that really struggle dealing with them. The Hammer Strike Strip Cover, that is a CP efficient unit because I can do that on one unit and spend on the other. And on the turn that I really need to be efficient and kill things, I can ignore cover in 2 places, which is like super important. And then the same with the +1 to wound. Instead of like, let's say I didn't have to give my Oath to the unit that I put the Thunder Strike into, that means that maybe my Meltas, which could be strength 11 when I'm targeting closest eligible, go from wounding on 4s against big knights to 3s against big knights. That is a huge difference in terms of actually being efficient and not having to spend CP there. And then the Talon Strike kill teams, for those that aren't aware, on the turn that they come down, they get +1 AP and they get Lance. So it just means they're that much more efficient when they go into something because they have the Lance, they have the +1 AP, and then if they get Oath, even better. And then the Captain gives the 1 brick +1 strength in combat. So like my chain swords are strength 5, even my little close combat attacks are higher. So like that unit, because I can free rapid ingress in it, it can move 10 inches, shoot whatever it needs to shoot. It's got sustain 2 with Oath. You know, I will pick up a lot of things. It's going to be strength 5 -2 flat 2. And then I can charge into something else and do a decent amount of damage, right? I will have -1. I will have potentially like either lethal or sustained because I'll pop one of those to do army-wide lethal or sustained. And then my army is that much more efficient. So um, this list is very aggressive. It's doing the things that you want a list like this to do. I like it a lot. I think it's incredibly solid, and it kills orcs in the droves, right? The plasma plus the assault bolters plus the Indomitor bricks plus the land speeders, like all those things. I do have enough shots to do it. And then the added combat, I think, was something that I was desperately missing because I didn't necessarily have a Deathwatch veteran brick that I usually run with the beacon and the fights first and to do all those things. It just wasn't as strong in this edition. So it's definitely interesting. I may go back to some iteration of that, but this kills orcs real good.
Yeah, it does. That is pretty efficient, and it is definitely nice to have a little bit more melee counterpunch. I would say. In the chat, we do have a question from Jacob. Do you think that choosing Deathwatch has a unique benefit of not having a high representation? Your opponents may not have as much practice against it, and did that factor into you going that direction?
Yeah, I think there's always value in some armies that necessarily not everyone has an experience against. I think there's value in that. But it can't be at the sacrifice of being comfortable. So like if you were to sacrifice your comfortability with an army because you want to take something like a little off the beaten path, it may not be beneficial. Because like one of my other armies that I think a lot of people don't play very often is Gene Stealer Cult. So like Gene Stealer Cult is not a common army. Not enough people play it. So like they run into my Gene Stealer Cult and it's a very unique um type of army and it plays the game differently than a lot of other different ones. So like they may not have gotten reps into it. So there is value in all of those things, but it cannot be at the sacrifice of like just playing good 40k. And honestly, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people could run Death Watch. They're just Space Marine units. It's just they're weird Space Marine units. And to be fair, the the fact that I need to buy like 3 boxes to get one Indomitor kill team off the ground is pretty annoying because it's like I need the Meltas, I need the heavy intercessors, I need potentially a captain, and then I also got to get the aggressors. So like I need all of those units just to make one unit, which is one of the things that um yeah, they really struggle with.
Anyways, right? So, you just definitively have extra stuff laying around.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a problem for me right now, but overall Death Watch, I just think they have all the tools. They are incredibly lethal. They have up down in addition, where up down is one of the best mechanics to have. And into these alpha armies that I predict I will face at some point, like orcs with all their scouting, is I could pretty much null deploy, as in like I can be at the back edge of my deployment and not actually get punished for it. So like it doesn't really matter that my opponent tries to jam me. Like I still have the mobility to play the game, and I'm actually perfectly okay with my opponent trying to jam me because it means that I'm going to kill a bunch of their stuff. Like just it will die, and I will be able to play the last 3 turns pretty much unopposed. I have to be able to respond to it, but like Deathwatch has the tools to do it. And then you're right, Tito, in Purge, it is better, right? I don't need as many tools to do the things. I can play a very structured game. Um, and I kill. There's not an army out there that I don't kill. I was initially scared of 30 Space Wolf Terminators, and then I did the math of what my Talent Strike kill teams do to them, and that plus an Indom brick, like it's pretty lethal. And I'm gonna give you a bunch of saves. Yeah, it's not great because I'm gonna like for those that aren't aware, the strat is I'm gonna hit you with incursors, so I'm gonna hit on 2s. If you have benefits of cover, fine, I'll pay for, or I'll hit you with a thunder strike, so I strip cover, hammer strike, whatever it's called. I'll hit you with a hammer strike, so I strip cover, and then I'm gonna pay for anti-infantry 2-up. So I'm gonna hit on 2s, sustain 2, full rerolls to hit, and then I'm gonna wound on 2s, and I'm gonna give you so many saves that I will just pick up the squad. And that is for 1 CP, realistically, right? Because I'm gonna oath you, I'm gonna incursor you, and I'm gonna ping you with a storm speeder. And unfortunately, like that Space Wolf list doesn't have a lot of screens, so you're gonna have to give me a Terminator squad. There's some armies that can't kill that. I I could kill that in 1 activation.
Yeah, yeah, just got to get the little buffs on it, and those kill teams do some work. And yes, unless you get scammed, as Tito is saying.
I mean, I gotta try. I will give you as many saves as possible. I will make sure that the thing dies.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of those orcs, why don't we go ahead? There's a couple of orc lists that we want to talk about. We have Ben Urich or Derek Abshay. Derek is the 40k dirtbag guy who has been on the channel with us. We've gone over done some content with them. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at Derek's list first. And I think you would really enjoy getting to play Derek finally, but I don't know if you want to have to do that, especially at least early.
I would love to play him in the final. Out of that many players, the odds are low but as the days go on, the possibility gets higher and higher. So Derek is running the new Equatorial Hordes and Freebootas and taking hold, which obviously is very good for what Orcs like to do. He's running Gaz and a Pain Boy, 20 boys, a War Boss with a Pain Boy, 20 boys, War Boss with a Pain Boy, 20 boys, Zograd, Gretchen, a 20-man. Who would have thought Death Killer Wartrike and Warbikers, Boss Snickrot, and Wazdaka, which is in every orc list. And then a 10 mana Gretchen, 10 mana Gretchen, and the commandos for a little bit of spicy infiltrates.
There is so little that is not attached in this list.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I do really like it. I have not got to see much gameplay out of the new Hordes detachment. But I mean, if it's remotely decent and you attach it to Freebooter, like it's gonna be good. Freebooter is just such a good add-on detachment.
Well, yeah. So the real tech here is like obviously to pressure army. He's going to be jamming and scouting with all of those boys. Um, so it's very easy for him to get across the board, and play that mid board and really threaten multiple units at the same time. So an army like that, the one thing that they're really good at is threat overload. So they're going to put out these, all 4 units of boys and say, can you kill all of these boys? If not, one of them is going to touch you. And boys are lethal. They are quite good, especially with that hidden Mega Knob in there, or sorry, War Boss in there. Like they will do damage, especially in the WOG, and they're going to be tough to kill in the WOG because they're going to have a 5-up invul. So 5-up invul plus a 5-up heal no pain from the Pain Boy. That means that like you have to be very efficient at killing these units. And believe it or not, once again, this is why I'm taking it. Anti-infantry 2-up is incredibly important for going into this stuff. Like, yes, I can only do it once, but I'm doing it on the one that matters the most to make sure that I get and chew through and kill the things that I need to kill. So, yes, this is a lot of boys. Yes, it's a lot of stuff. You have to play around the WOG because obviously it's very quick. But you have to make sure you're doing things to, play the long game because they're just going to try to alpha strike you off the board.
Yeah, they definitely can get going fast, and if you aren't ready, you can, as Jacob says in the chat, orcs in my deployment zone turn 1. If you're not ready, it can destroy your game plan. Yes, it can. No one likes to be bad touched by the green boys, especially early. So making sure either whether it's some infiltrators that can kind of help block those scouts, or at least kind of be in the way and prevent very long movement or charges to get into your actual useful things. That is definitely something to have in the game plan against the orcs.
Yeah. Yeah, I get why Derek is running this list. I understand. And then we're going to take a very quick look at Ben's because it is pretty much in the same vein. But orcs are solid right now. And if you want to go to GTs as big as this and to do well, like, yes, you need to play an army you're comfortable with, which Derek is very comfortable with orcs. But you also need, you need good stuff. Like I learned in, the early parts of my 40K career competitive wise, like, you can try to be cute, but being cute only gets you so far when you play against good players. Like your list has to be, you have to take good stuff.
Yeah, and it does look like he did not get the attaches done in Ben's list as we go to it. Give a sec to pull that up. Okay, yep. So looking at his list, it does have Gazgul and the Pain Boy with 20 boys. That's not going anywhere. That is a staple. And then going down, we do have a War Boss with a Pain Boy and a unit of boys. And then another War Boss. Oh, I'm still on Derek's. My apologies. It then has 2 Beast Bosses, each with an enhancement that it doesn't show as attached. But they are definitively with those 20 Beast Snag Boy squads.
Yeah.
A truck. We do have Guts Mech in there. We do have a big mech with Shock Attack and Zogrod as well. The Flash Gits are probably going to be riding in the truck. 3 units of Gretchen, 120 and 2 10s, a unit of Commandos, and a unit of Tank Busters.
So it's interesting. I think flash kits are very good. Obviously, with the big mech, it makes them incredibly strong. This is more similar to what we just saw from Derek, right? But it does have the shooting to back it up. So Ben has definitely given himself a way out in some of these matchups where he needs, the truck with the flash kits inside and a delivery system for them, which is honestly genuinely very, very strong. So and then Wazdaka is one of the best screen killers in the game. So not a surprise to see this unit hit the board at all.
Yeah, it's just so solid. I think he's probably even more in auto include than Gaz at this point. Like it's just
Yeah.
he's just so good.
Yeah, he's pretty scary. Cool. Um, are those some of the favorites, Lane? Do you think at the end of the day um we're gonna see Derek or Ben at the final table?
I mean, unless they run into some craziness or get scammed or something, those lists are very very just oppressive and
Hmm.
stuff. They make one too many charges and you're out of the game, right? They could fail some charges as well, right? And then just be kind of left standing in the open. But that's probably going to happen less times than them just maybe making a long bomb charge and touching one too many things in most of their matchups. That I think even with people like you who are going to be prepping for orcs, you'll definitely put up a hell of a fight. You'll be able to kill them, but they're just overall, I feel like, pretty oppressive still, without the additional points increases we probably should have seen. Um, Not saying they're unbeatable, but it would not be unlikely to see them in the final.
Yeah, orcs are good right now. Okay, do you want to hear my hot take of someone that I personally have seen in the past? He traumatized me in my first competitive teams tournament. He was the guy that has spurred the impetus to improve myself as a 40K player. Do you want to see this player?
Yeah, dude, bring it on.
Okay. So this is Kit Smith. He is I initially played him at Tundra Tactics. He was on Tundra Tactics when I played against him. He is regularly in the Team USA circles, an incredible player. And it was my first Challengers Cup. So it was me and a bunch of the boys in the local area in Denver. And Kit Smith, this was back in beginning of 10th edition when the Necrons, Hypercrypt, redeploying monoliths was like all the rage. And Kit Smith absolutely dismantled me. Like 20-0, and I don't think I've been beaten that bad since, but this was a absolute dismantling. Kit is an incredible player. And I I think he's up there. And I think he took a very interesting list to specifically deal with orcs. So he's got Legions of Excess, which is very interesting. I can't remember the last time I saw Legion Success on the table. Definitely not in this edition, and definitely not since they got sent into the demon realm when they were too strong. So it's Legions of Excess and Warp Tide. We got a Contorted Epitome. We got with a 10-man of Demonettes. We got 2 Keepers of Secrets, a Mask, Torment Bringer, 1, 2, 3, 4 Demonettes, a Beast of Nurgle, and 3 units of Fiends. And this is all on priority assets, which is considered to be one of the stronger dispositions.
Yeah, I think this definitively has some sauce. Me and Nick Bobongler, who is in the chat, have actually been workshopping some various lists with the things he has available, and you can get quite a bit of power within this combo with the detachments. If you look at those demonettes, 2 of them have Bane forged weapons, which is +1 strength on their weapons, and then there's tons of access to +1 to wound in this detachment, and so you can really stack kind of some extra buffs to really just be able to chew through even T5 or like even T6 and up infantry, which is really pretty good. And then those fiends causing battle shocks, I believe. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean the keepers are -1 to hit in melee. Like that is just their thing. They are incredibly tough. They're going to make those orcs hit worse, which is like the one thing that they don't want to do because they don't have the shooting to do it. So they're really relying on, getting into combat and actually picking you up, and that's gonna, excuse me, that's gonna really struggle into this because, to be fair, those fiends are fast. They have plenty of attacks. They will be able to go into you, and then they always have fallback and charge, which is like what they don't want to see. Like orcs don't want to see you being able to interact with them after they touch you. They need to be able to touch you and stop that unit from doing whatever it is it needs to do. So like I really like this list. I'll have to talk to Kit when we get to Texas, but that's like my first thought of like he sees the orc matchup as something that he's going to have to play, especially in the later rounds, and he wants something like this to be able to do it. So um I think it's very good because you're just going to give them most of the times you'll give them after they've made a charge move, which technically counts for heroic intervention as well. You can either give them fights first and threaten that to your opponent, be like, "Hey, if you don't choose the right unit first, I will fight next here." And this, 10 mana demonettes will put so many attacks into these boys that they're just going to pick up half a squad or 3/4 of the squad, and then all you're going to be left with is a character, and you're not going to be able to pick the demonettes up in return because it's going to be like keeper on one side, demonettes on the other, or fiends on the other, and then they're just going to say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna take the damage on the keeper. I'm gonna give the demonettes fights first. So you have to fight the keeper first. You probably don't kill the keeper, and then the demonettes fight you, and then you don't kill the demonettes, and you've killed nothing."
Yeah. There's all kinds of shenanigans you can do. But Wongler did point out it's actually you just force desperate escapes if you ever try to fall back from fiends. So that's also pretty saucy.
Mm,
We love free damage with mortals. When people definitively want to run away from you if you have tagged them. So you can get just a ton of extra value into certain armies, especially shooting armies, even if they have fall back and shoot, especially that if you do go and kill one thing with the fiends and then touch the next, that next thing is just gonna have to suffer some wounds as it
yeah,
does fall back.
yeah. I think it's very, very good. I like it a lot. Yeah, yeah. I think this list is good. I think Kit is a fantastic player. I would not be shocked to see him like clawing at those top tables.
Yeah, yeah, that is fair. I think that's very accurate. One player I wanted to look at because I just don't remotely have the models to run this list, but he has come up. He's done well at some Denver events, but he is a Dallas local. Robert Moreland. He is a guard player from down south, and so if we can bring that list up, I think it is worth talking about because I think if you have ever been a Scion collector and you play some guard, this is definitively a good list to play. Um, so up first, we do have not one, not two, but three Militarum Tempestus 5-mans with a command squad. And those are all just solid. We got Gaunt's Ghosts. We've got Lord Solar. We've got 2 tech priests to give those 4-up invulns and heal some vehicles. And then we have 3 Tauroxes, 4 Tauroxes, and then 3 Taurox primes. There are 7 transports. I know this is a time where people say that transports are death traps, but there is some very good efficiency within these within this kind of build. And we'll keep going through the list, I guess. There's Acadian Recon Squad. It allows you to keep giving orders to things that are near it or near their little beacon marker. It's got units of Kazarkin. I believe it's only 2. Yep. And then 2 units of Krieg Combat Engineers, 2 Krieg Heavy Weapon Squads that have flamers, and then 2 units of Ogren, And that is it. These are all very efficient, just small trading pieces. And there's some good access to various rules within here. In mechanized, if you get out, you get +1 to wound. And you also have strats for full hit and wound rerolls for 1 CP,
Pretty good.
which is pretty good. There's can you go to the tech priest? I think there's a enhancement you can take, but I want to see if you took it. Okay, did not take it. And that makes sense because I think that's the only thing that I would like to do with this list personally. In mechanized, you can give a transport full hit rerolls. If you could take an RSV, I think that tech is pretty good. It's the open top firing deck 12. You can put 6 las guns in there with 2 heavy weapons teams and just give it full hit rerolls.
Mm.
I do like that tech quite a bit. But in general, those Torox primes, those are where the scions are going. You get out, as long as the Torox prime shoots, you get full hit rerolls against that same target. If it's on an objective, you already get full wound rerolls. So they have that built-in efficiency a lot more, and they're already ready to trade on objectives really well in those packages. So you can spend that CP on your Kazakhin for full hit and wound rerolls with +1 to wound because they're getting out of those um, uh, transports, which also have advance and disembark. The Ogren, even a unit of 3 Ogren, you're not playing abhuman detail to buff their shooting, but even those 3, that is still just a ton of shots coming out. That is 6 shots per dude at strength 5 AP2 damage to. As long as you can use them wisely to go out and find something that's not in cover, like hitting on 4s with full hit and wound rerolls at strength 5 AP2 damage to, if you can hit on 4s, like those just chew up scout squads like they're nothing,
Yeah.
even just as a 3-man. As long as you're disembarking with +1 to wound, like you're wounding on 2s against T4 Marines. Like there's a lot of just good efficiency here. Yeah, but I only own 3 Toroxes myself, so like, but I think this is a very very solid list that doesn't have to play as fancy of a game as like the recon lists that we're seeing out of um, Nemo and stuff. This is just I get out of my boxes, I go shoot, I still do damage because it's got a lot of inbuilt rerolls.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Okay. We got a question in the chat lane. Jacob asked, "Do you see any potential sleeper factions besides Deathwatch?" I might be the only one on that sauce. I think they're very good, but they're not necessarily the most popular. That might do well at Lone Star Open. That may have gotten a glow up from the recent data slate changes. Okay, Lane. I know what my pick is. It's not Deathwatch. I think there's another faction that has gotten a glow up that will do well. But what about you?
Another faction that will do well. Well, we've already talked about the good old Chaos Demons with that Kit is playing. I think. Oh man, I haven't seen anybody that like caught my eye, but I think I'm hoping there'll be somebody who pops off with World Eaters this weekend. After those
Oh,
points drops, I'm hoping that there is just enough to make some of those, people who've kind of shifted away from them because they were like, it's just a little expensive. Things are very, very cheap now in World Eaters. So I would be curious. Let's go
you have
ahead and do
12 World Eaters players.
okay. 12 World Eaters players, and I am curious. I don't know if anybody is playing. I'm going to look at a random one. If anybody's playing the Demonkin. Okay, Colton Parker is playing the Demonkin. Which is take and hold. We've talked a little bit about this sauce before, but playing Butchers of Corn and the Demonkin detachment. Running 20 Berserkers with a Lord on Jug, so extra fast and 3-inch engagement range with a good Blood Surge. Demon Prince of Corn, Scarbrand, 2 units of Bloodletters, a unit of 5 Terminators, 1 Defiler, 2 Fleshhounds, 1 unit of Goremongers, and 2 Jackals, playing Take and Hold. Yeah, do you want to go deny that natural at all?
Not necessarily. I would say it's really interesting. Obviously, the majority of his points are spent on this Lord on Jug with Corn Berserkers, right? That's, it's 440 points for that unit. It's very interesting, the Defiler, being in here. Obviously, it's the cheapest version of Defilers nowadays. Doesn't change the fact that the platform itself is good and rapid fire on all its guns is good. So, like, it will still put out the damage. This 5 Man of Chaos Terminators is very interesting, I would say. Sanctified and Slaughter. I don't know what that one does.
I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now. Plus 1 OC. Okay. All right.
That's not bad. I mean, to me, that makes a very good. Just we're gonna hold our natural, or we're gonna go, 5 as a rapid ingress too, to be like, well, if you don't put enough stuff on the center, I'll just drop 5 Terminators on there that are OC 2 apiece. Like 10 OC is nothing to scoff at. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable.
I don't think it's actually 1 per model. It says Terminator Squad unit only. This unit has plus 1 OC. That's not. It's for each model.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, that'd be stupid.
It has to be. There's no way it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the nice part about this World Leaders detachment, just in general, is they have that strat when something is killed. They can immediately bring a unit in. That's what the Bloodletters are for. That's what you bring in. So they are threatening multiple times. Like if you don't have multiple activations to go into something, they will just come in and still score. The Fleshhounds have up down, which is nice. My real fear with this list, if I were to run something like this, is that 20-man Berserker units is made of glass. Like Space Marines, unfortunately, are like not durable anymore. So if somebody manages to get into that 20-man, oof, that is not good.
Yeah, I feel like it's just good as something on the new boards, as long as you are kind of aware where you can stage it and kind of where you can go. I think it's a very good counter to, like, if you do run into orcs, right? You can kind of just keep it a little bit safe, keep it wrapped, and then it can definitively chew through 20 boys with the right buffs and stuff. And it also allows you to kind of just jam someone and just be like, well, if especially if they don't have a very large shooting threat of their own that can only maybe kill like a third of them, you just go, okay, well, I could just blood surge, and you better be outside of 9 inches basically, because it's D6 plus 2. Yeah. So 10 inches technically.
Yep. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I have no idea who this guy is, but hopefully they do well with some world leaders. I would love to see somebody crush people and just run them down.
Well, Lane has gotten, beginning of 11th edition, he's started playing a couple World Leaders games and has definitely enjoyed seeing that side of the blade. So I know it's been enjoyable. So I think after the rules changes and stuff like that, I think my pick is GSC. So I think overall they've gotten some buffs that I'm pretty happy with. I thought they were good before. The only thing that holds them back is what holds some of these niche factions back is like a lack of a player pool. So we got a very good Gene Stealer called player, Robin Roberts. He's running what I ran at ATC, a very similar list, which is the Biosanctic plus Xenocult, which is the benefits to your neophytes. Really, you're just paying. You want that detachment for the 1 CP full rerolls to hit. It's very, very strong. So we got Biosanctic versus Xenocult. We got a Patriarch with a 10-man, a Primus with a Biophagus attached to Acolyte Hybrids, 10-man. So this is a 6-man mining tool unit, which is I really like. Another thing that I enjoy because these are flat 3 damage at strength 5 -2 3 anti-vehicle 3 up. So or anti-vehicle 4 up, one of the two. So they are incredibly solid, and then the Biophagus gives them lethal hits, and then he can also give them +1 to wound against infantry. They don't necessarily have a lot of attacks, which is something this unit struggles with, but it's solid. I like it a lot. And then, 2 units of that. This is very interesting. Primus in each, 6 mining tools. Very interesting. And then another Primus with Biophagus and Hybrid Metamorphs. That is very interesting. Yeah. And then we got a Benefactus with 20 Neos, which is the general consensus of you need at least one, especially if you're going to take Xenocult. And then another Benefactus with 20 man, which is still very, very good. An Abominant, another Abominant, a Reductus Saboteur, a Goliath Truck, and 2. This feels like a mistake. He has a unit of 2 Ridge Runners with mortars. You probably want 2 separate ones because then otherwise you can only get the AP buff on one of them. That's probably a mistake. And then 1 5-mana Pierce Drains. The Abominants can't attach to anything, so you're having solo Abominants that stand back up. That can go out there and bonk things with their las cannon hammers, pretty much. They just go out there and smack them. Yeah, it's a very interesting list. So I thought this was going to be closer to what I ran at ATC of Aberrants with Pierce Drains and then 120 man. This is not the same. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. You know, I know you got to be rooting for the Colt, bro. No matter what,
Always.
always rooting for the Colt. Yeah.
I was this close to taking final day this weekend. I was this close.
Heck yeah. Well, anybody else? Any other armies you want to take a look at before we wrap things up?
Yeah. Who wants us to take a look at a list? EC, I know they're good. That's fine. Dark Angels are going to be... Yeah. You can take a look at a Dark Angels list while people think about what they want. I think Dark Angels are very good. I think they are one of, if not the best, but this is a very unique Dark Angels list that I don't think I saw coming. So this is a Wrath of the Rock list, Lane. I have to get our good friend Jason, point him in this direction, see if this is something that has some sauce. So we got an Ancient and Terminator armor, a unit of Deathwing Knights, another Ancient and Terminator armor, another unit of Deathwing Knights, a Librarian with Inner Circle, Semi-L with the Outrider squad, which are now, we can attach those, which is pretty solid. As Lieutenant Stern Guard, all attached to each other, that's a pretty lethal unit, especially with Azrael, especially with Oath, all those things. Lion, he's still a monster. He is still very, very strong. So you got to be prepared for him for sure. Intercessors for the home, 3-man Eradicator, a Land Speeder, and a Scout Squad. So a durability test for sure. Can you kill these Deathwing Knights?
Probably not. No, it's pretty good. I do like that tech. I believe, does the lieutenant give lethal hits and Azrael gives sustained?
Yes.
Right? And so then you have Stern Guard who get dev wounds, and you're just
full rerolls to wound against their oath target. So you have full rerolls to hit and wound pretty much, and they come down and they might just obliterate something.
Yeah, I think that's some pretty cool tech. I don't think I have seen that before, but it does make sense. It's a pretty expensive unit,
Oh,
uh,
gotcha.
but if you play it right, it will kill a lot of different things in the game.
Yeah, my only concern is like there's no delivery mechanism for them. Like there's no transport, there's no repulsors, nothing. They are walking around the board. And if I were to play into something like this, the thing I would be trying to do is, I'm trying to put my Talon Strike brick with all my my bolters into it. I want to oath it. I want to be strength 5 -2 flat 2 and just go to town.
Yeah, I do think it's very interesting. I think one of the other cool things too is they have built-in Leonin aggression, right? That is their tech first,
Yeah.
really. The old school heroic intervention. Get too close, they will do it for cheaper than anyone else, which is nice. But you also, if you have the CP, you can double heroic basically.
Yeah.
If they are, because it's also, I believe, not even limited. Actually, I think Leonin has the same limitation. They have to have not charged. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It might just be end of the fight phase. Choose something, because before there was a weird timing when it came to how you interact, because it could just give them other charges if you roll too high. But I will tell you in just a second. Yeah, that is not a restriction, so you can double heroic.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Some armies really don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Some armies don't want to get double heroic by Deathwing Knights. That does not sound like a good time for the majority of armies out there. Like there are very few armies that have the durability to kill or the lethality to kill one of those bricks on their own. Two of those bricks would be incredibly tough.
Yeah. I mean, you just put the lion right out front with two 5-mans or Azrael, doesn't matter, just two units right behind him, and say, well, you can come touch him, but if you do, just remember there will be 3 units with fights first at that point. So
Yeah.
decide wisely.
Yeah. Yep. Super important. Super important. Okay. Very interesting list. All right. Does anybody have any list they want us to look at? Tito
Tito
says he's
is
playing 3 units of Deathwing Knights this weekend. Holy shit, that's a lot of Deathwing Knights.
that's what we like to see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you play priority, really. Like, come take the center from me. I dare you.
I get it. I get why it's good. I get the Terminator, like I get the push for Terminators. I understand. And that's the extra durable ones are obviously very nice, like Thunderwolf or Space Wolf Terminators. I get why they're good. You know, Space Marine Terminators, I get why they're good. Because and like in Blades, right? You have -1 to wound if strength is greater than or equal to. So all of those things are very, very solid.
Yeah, Wrath just having built in -1 to wound, brutal,
Yep.
with -1 damage baked in as well. They are some tough sons of guns. Yeah, I think it's cool. I like having the speed of Samael in there as well. I think that's a nice piece to
It
have.
is. He's got to be kept pretty safe. I'm a little the speed is here, right? You got a land speeder, you got a scout squad. The eradicators are just like a little bit of a tech piece, but everybody's walking. So you're, priority assets. It's not the end of the world. Is he interesting? There's no lieutenant with combi weapon, and you're playing priority assets.
It is taking hold. I think. Oh no, it is
It says
priority.
priority.
I
Did
wonder if
he?
that
Is
was
this wrong?
changed.
I'm curious what it
I think it
says.
was taken hold before, but
Yeah, it's showing
or
priority
maybe
assets
maybe
now.
Tito was just playing taken hold, is what he's saying.
Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. I don't love that. I I like a combo weapon lieutenant. He's just too good, Lane. I just think he's too good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's Wrath is solid. Gotta love it. Yeah, I like it. I think we're gonna see a lot more Samael sneak its way into other people's Dark Angels list, regardless of detachment.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for joining our weekly stream. Good luck to anybody who's playing this weekend. I know Phil and I are gonna need it ourselves. Hopefully,
Are you rooting me on, Lane?
I am. Yep. Go get it done, buddy. I
All
believe.
right, I'm also rooting Lane on because Lane, you're also playing this weekend, correct?
Yeah, I signed up last night and submitted my list like 10 minutes before they were due. I decided I did have enough time to go down to Denver this weekend. So gonna go play some Grizzled Company. Just kind of threw a list
Mm.
together. No reps with it, but we'll go 4-2. Guards fine. Um, so yeah, that's the goal. But yeah, it should be good. Denver 40K Fight Club. I think it's at like 85 players, so definitively not in the 300s, but gonna give it the good old college try, hang out with some of the homies, and just roll some dice because I don't think I've played 3 games of full 40K, like start to finish in like a tournament setting. So I'm ready, dude. Roll some
Let's get
dice, kick
after it.
some butt. Yeah, yeah. 11 starts now, at least for me. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Glad to have you. If you have not liked or subscribed yet, please do so. Join the Discord. We love talking to y'all in there. And as always, do not forget that victory isn't given; it is forged, and it's forged right here at Mastercrafted. We will see you all next time.
See you later, guys.